A very good evening and welcome to the impressive Telstra Customer Insight Centre in Sydney for the announcement that football fans across the nation have been waiting for tonight. We will find out who the 14th head coach of the Westfield Matildas is, who's charged with leading the nation's most loved sporting team to a string of major international competitions over the next 4 years. I'm Tara Rushton from Fox Sports. It's an absolute pleasure to have your company tonight and to be joined by Chief Executive Officer of Football Federation Australia, James Johnson. Great to have you with us, James.
Thanks, Tara.
Pretty exciting though, isn't it?
It's very exciting.
Really looking forward to it. Sarah Walsh joins me as well, FFA Head of Game Development and Women's Football. Walshy, great to have your company.
Thanks, Tara. Great to be here.
And Amy Duggan as well. I mean, this is technology. It's the world that we live in right now. Former Matilda and FFA board member, Amy, great to have you with us. And yeah, we've shared the same wardrobe tonight as well.
Just a great colour choice, Tara, and happy to be here.
It's bringing out your eyes, that's all I'm going to say. Well, here we go. We're waiting for this moment. Eagerly fans all across the nation are as well. It's been months in the waiting and it's great to have everyone's company, Amy, Sarah and James. So talk to us a little bit why this is such an important appointment, James, not just for the Matildas but for football in this country.
So, Tara, we're in a period of change, a period of transformation. We've set a vision for 15 years and through the 11 principles, this is really going to guide us through this transformational period that we're going through as a sport. The Matildas' performance on and off the pitch is really central to that transformational change. We fought very hard to bring the Women's World Cup here in 23. Last week we appointed a technical advisor for women's pathways because we want to increase the depth of the team. So this appointment is crucial for the team itself because we think it will help the performance on the pitch, but good performances on the pitch lead to good performances off the pitch. And if we put the Matildas in the middle of our transformational strategy, this appointment is not just about the team, it's about the broader transformation of the game.
Talking about the transformation, so important to women's football in this country, Sarah Walsh. So can you give us some insight into the process itself, how long it took, how you found your applicants and then have narrowed it down?
Yeah, I can. Thanks, Tara. We had the Football Development Committee chaired by Remo Nogaroto. We had Amy Duggan and Marco Bresciano lead the actual process on behalf of the board. Obviously, James led the process from an operational level. Myself and Trevor Morgan supported the process. But yeah, it was an extensive process, Tara, starting in basically the middle of July. We had a broader, I guess you could say, target list with a significant amount of research that sat behind that. From that target list, that was dwindled down to a smaller short list. And from then, we had the candidates go through 2 rounds of interviews in which they presented their plan for the Matildas 2023. And I've got to say, with some of the best minds in women's football, it was actually quite exciting to be a part of it.
Were you surprised at the level of candidates that came in and their experience?
Not really, no. I think that one of the great things about being a part of it was to see the amount of interest in this team. And not only that, to be able to do something very special on home soil. We were never going to be short of interest, and that was the case throughout the process. But I was blown away by some of the presentations, which really talks to the calibre in which we've landed.
Amy, thank you so much for joining us from Wollongong, being part of this decision process. So important because you've donned the green and gold yourself. What were some of those key attributes that you were looking for that a coach had to have when leading the Westfield Matildas?
Yeah, well, with such an important role, the criteria was quite large, but there are some really important factors, obviously, as part of that, including national and international experience and success at those levels. Culturally and leadership are also things that we looked at. We looked at the 4 pillars: the technical, the tactical, the physical and the mental parts of the game. And we also looked at the eagerness to leave a lasting legacy for Australian football. So among all the big topics that we delved right deep down into at a granular level, they were the sorts of things we were looking for. And we think we found the perfect person.
So you've heard about who was involved in making the appointment, the process of making the appointment, and why FFA's selection panel believes the next head coach of the Westfield Matildas is the right person for the job. So now the only thing to do is to find out who the next coach of the Westfield Matildas will be. So I'll give the honour over to CEO of the FFA, James Johnson. Please put those of us out of our misery who are waiting to find out. Can you tell us who the new coach of the Westfield Matildas is?
Sure can, Tara. On behalf of Football Federation Australia and to our fans, the fans of the Westfield Matildas, to the Australian football community, I would like to inform you that we've appointed a coach that has extensive experience at both the international and club football level. We've selected a coach who has experience in both women's football and men's football. We've appointed a coach who has IP around what it takes to win a Women's World Cup and an Olympics. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Tony Gustafsson, the new Westfield Matildas coach.
Well, the new head coach of the Westfield Matildas, Tony Gustafsson, is currently on his way to Australia House in London to meet some of his players and to film some content for you that you'll see across the Matildas channels in the next coming week. But just hours before Tony took off for Aussie soil in the UK, he sat down for this exclusive chat with me. Tony, a huge congratulations. Thank you so much for joining us. How does it feel to be leading Australia's most loved team, the Westfield Matildas, for the next 4 years as head coach?
I'm obviously extremely proud and happy, considering that it's been a lot of great coaches in the world that could been actually getting this job, and I'm the one they choose. I'm extremely proud, and I can't wait to get started.
Has the news sunk in yet?
Not really, to be honest. It's been a little bit of an emotional roller coaster this week, and also with the time difference, a lot of late nights, and the excitement and how inspired I feel kind of makes it, I just want to get started.
Talking about inspiring, you've been part of a lot of inspiring moments when it comes to coaching in both Sweden and the USA, Champions League finals, Olympic gold medal matches, World Cup finals. You've been so incredibly successful. Looking at those experiences, how do they inform you as a coach today?
Well, I hope and I feel maybe the 21 years I've had of coaching have kind of put me in the positions to be ready for this. And it feels like it's come to a moment where this is what I've been waiting for, to lead the Matildas for 4 years, and also looking forward to the World Cup in 2023 in Australia and New Zealand. I do feel ready, and I hope that experience with working with some of the greatest players in the world, having experienced tournaments, Olympics and World Cup. I've been in the pressure cooker a lot of times, and I know demanding success. I know what that means to perform under pressure. And I also have to say that I'm extremely excited that to do this together with the fans and the stakeholders and the players and the staff as a team, like I said, I just want to get going.
What for you personally are some of your greatest achievements in the game across your, 21 years within the game coaching, then you've obviously played as well?
The natural answer would be the titles, Olympic golds and 2 World Cup golds, and winning the league in Sweden, runner-up in Champions League final. But I also have to mention that one of my biggest success is all the fantastic people that I got to know throughout the years. I'm a people's person and I love to work with people. So I think one of the biggest achievements is all the great players and great staffing and all the fans that I got to experience throughout the years.
You really worked with what is the benchmark team when it comes to women's football, the United States national women's soccer team, and was so successful over a 7-year tenure with them. 2012 gold medal, back-to-back World Cup titles. I guess everyone wants to be able to learn bits and pieces from that team and that winning environment and that winning mentality, and hope that it can rub off when we see this Matildas and you taking them into a brand new era. What's a bit of the secret, and do you want to take some of the essence of that and bring it to this team?
Yeah, first and foremost, I want to thank all the players that I worked with throughout the years. I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for the players. And that's how it's going to be these 4 years coming up as well. I won't be anything without the players. The players are the key to everything. I think what's very important is, I have a saying where I always say, do we want to get a day better or just a day older? We always have a choice as a coach and a player to go to work we're going to get a day older, but do we want to get a day better? And I think having that mindset, what mostly different stars from average is the inner drive to always improve and achieve. And if we can have that on every daily basis, I think we can be prepared once come tournament time as well. And I also think we have to understand that it's going to take a lot of commitment from everyone involved, and I'm definitely ready to commit.
What type of manager are you? What type of personality do you bring to that role?
How much time do we have?
We've got a while. Australia wants to get to know you.
Yeah, that's true. I'd like to be a blank paper when I meet the players and the staff. So I would like to keep it pretty short because I don't want them to hear too much. I want them to get to know me in person. Like I said, I'm a people's person. I want to work close with the players and the staff. What I think, asking people around me what I'm like, I think they say he's a passionate person. I am an emotional person. I'm very passionate about what I do. Sometimes that passion can spill out in terms of being maybe too passionate. So I need to balance my passionate personality with a lot of love and joy, because otherwise people can't stand me because I demand too much. So I guess 3 key words for me in my management is passion, love, and joy.
So what kind of character could we expect from that technical area then?
A bit intense, maybe.
Nothing we haven't seen before. Don't you worry about that one. You're going to Australia House and you're going to meet a fair few players that are going to be part of your new team. And you've obviously coached against them as well. What are your first impressions of the Westfield Matildas and where they are in the world right now?
This may sound like I'm making this up because of this interview, but I'm not. The people that know me and the times that I worked in the US know that I've always said that the Matildas is a really tough team to beat. And I've always said, they're ranked 7 in the world now, and I always said they have the potential to be one of the best in the world. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to get on board on this job, because I do see a huge potential in this team. A lot of people are talking about the golden generation and that a lot of these players will peak come World Cup 23. But we can't forget also the new talent pool that is coming up. And I'm really excited to start looking at some new players as well, because it takes 23, meaning 23 players in 23 to win.
Oh, I like the synergy there, the 23 and the 23. How much of a hook was that, though, knowing that you're applying for a role where you would be head coach of the team that was going to be joint host of the Women's World Cup? A lot of eyes are going to be on you and what you do with this team.
Yeah, for sure, in natural. But I also want to do this together with all the stakeholders, together with the fans, together with the players, the staff, the management. And that was definitely a big reason. But another big reason was from the very first day that I got in contact with all the people around the Matildas and the Federation, I felt that we shared the same passion that, yes, winning is a natural, but this is bigger than winning. This is about creating a legacy. Embracing and respect what people before us have done, all the previous players and coaches that have put the Matildas to where they are today, but also looking forward to see, can we create an even bigger legacy in the future?
It sounds pretty exciting to me. When you talk about the legacy, you obviously need buy-in from your players. Have you got any kind of tricks that you do when you're in a team environment and in camp? I heard that there are a couple of music trivia nights that you brought into the United States national team set up. How did that go down? Have you got any tricks when it comes to meeting the Aussies?
Well, I don't know where I got that information from, but obviously I have some inside information. I think, like I said, the passion, love, and joy, I think you have to have fun at work as well, but not fun in the way that you're not serious about what you do, because it's business, it's about improving. But you also have to be connected with people, and there's different way of doing that. You can do that in the meal room with the meals. You can do that on the pitch when you have trainings. You can do that in team building activities. But at the end of the day, it's us as a family and as a team that's going to do it together. And without the staff around me, I'm worth nothing. So it's about the staff and the team behind the team in order to make these players the best they can be.
And what is the plan now? We've been hearing rumblings here in Australia that there could be potentially a camp held in Europe in November. Does that look like it could be coming into fruition and potentially a couple of friendlies, fingers crossed?
I definitely hope so. I would love if that camp could happen, so I get the chance to meet the team and everyone included. And also that would give us a chance to get to know each other a little bit better, and going into the new year in 21, it would give us a little bit of a better platform and work from there. So I definitely hope it will happen.
And I guess all that you have to do now is meet the players. How are you feeling about that?
Well, I can't wait. Again, these are amazing players. I know that, and I'm certain they're amazing people as well. And I would love to. I know we have a similarity there, something in common in Sweden and Australia, and that is that we love our coffee. So if I can have a coffee and a sit down and get to know them over a coffee, I would love to do that.
I think you might have been on some of the social media accounts of some of the Westfield Matildas, and they do love their coffee. There's a bit of a coffee culture going on across, even though they've moved from Australia, a lot of them playing over there in Europe. Best of luck with when you meet them at Australia House. It's so lovely to talk to you. We can't wait to meet you here down under, and we wish you all the very best in your new role. A big congratulations and good luck today.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Well, there you have it, Tony Gustafsson, the new coach of the Westfield Matildas. And James Johnson, you've got to say, he has such a host of experience to lead this young and exciting team, the golden generation, gold medals, Women's World Cup titles back to back. He's got so much experience with both club and country. What a man to take the job.
Yeah, he does. We're very happy with Tony. He comes with great experience. He's taken his club team to a UEFA Champions League final for women. He's won World Cups, he's won Olympics. We want to win. We have a great team. We have 4 opportunities over the next 4 years with 2 Olympics, a World Cup on home soil and an Asian Cup. Our team is going to be peaking during this period. We've got players at a peaking age that are playing at some of the best clubs in the world. So what Tony brings to us and what he brings to this team is direct experience, IP, having won Women's World Cups and Olympics, and that's exactly where we want to be.
He was so incredibly engaging to talk to. What was it for you personally that you thought, this is the person for the job?
He doesn't need training wheels. He's ready to go, he's energetic, he's passionate, and I think he really understands our culture, and I think we're going to bring the best out of Tony, and Tony's going to bring the best out of our Matildas.
When you look at what Team USA have done, they really have been the benchmark for football these past few years. It's not just one era, but 2 when you look at what they've done. So how do you think this appointment is going to resonate with Australian football fans and the team itself?
It's a good question, Tara. I think, firstly, being a really great cultural fit, we utilised Maddie Clemens from the AIS to support the process in terms of what kind of leadership style or culture that this team needs to have to be able to go to number 1. And he ticked all boxes there. So I think in terms of his style, they're really going to connect and I think resonate with that. Secondly, he's signed on for 4 years. As James just said, it's really exciting that he'll be with us all the way until Paris. And secondly to that, he's obviously got extensive experience with some of the best players in the world, Kristen Press, Marta from Brazil, and likewise he's got extensive experience in nurturing the young players, which is something that's going to be very crucial for the Matildas in terms of building a broader squad, which was something that we looked at quite closely around youth development, and he ticked all boxes there. Lastly, you could really tell that throughout the process he really understands legacy and what that means, and to be able to leave the game in a better place for women and girls, not just players. So I think that the likes of Ray Dower, Mel Andretta, Leah Blaney are going to learn so much from Tony. So it's a really exciting time for the women's game and actually the game in Australia.
Yeah, looking forward to it so much. And we're just building up, aren't we, Amy, towards the 2023 Women's World Cup that is going to be held right here on home soil. It does feel like there's already such great feelings around what the Westfield Matildas can do, but there isn't a better time more than now and the current at the present to really get behind this team of girls and women and support them.
Well, what a great time to be involved in the sport. We've had growth on growth year after year, and in 2019 that was 11% growth in the women's and girls game, and the FFA is absolutely committed to developing and growing the women's game across this country. We have targets in place for 50-50 participation in gender split. We've got investment in our national teams, investment in our pathways, and all these exciting competitions to come. So it is a wonderful time to be around football in general, but especially on this journey with our Matildas as they work towards next year's Olympics, the Asian Cup, the 2023 World Cup on home soil, and then, of course, the Olympics in Paris following that. And I just cannot wait to see them back out on the field.
Westfield Matildas fans, that just about wraps up tonight's official unveiling of the new head coach for Australia's senior women's national team, the Westfield Matildas, Tony Gustafsson. A very big thank you to James Johnson and Sarah Walsh for joining me here at the Telstra Customer Insight Centre in Sydney, as well as Amy Duggan for dialing in from Wollongong too. And last but not least, thank you to Tony Gustafsson for joining us from Europe today. He's about to go and meet the Matildas players at the Australian High Commission, Australia House in London. So make sure you keep an eye out for a variety of content from that unique experience. Tony Gustafsson's first on Australian soil over there in the UK. We'll have you that content in the coming hours and the coming days. The final word this evening, though, it goes to Westfield Matilda number 51. Julie Murray. Julie played 68A internationals for Australia. And as we sign off tonight, she sent in a short video about what it means to be a Matilda and welcoming Tony Gustafsson into becoming part of this story and this new era for the Westfield Matildas. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, go the Matildas. We'll see you very soon.
Firstly, I'd like to extend a very warm welcome to you, Tony, to the Matilda family. Australia, as you know, has a wonderful and diverse sporting culture that is second to none in the world. And women's football are the definite headliners in that respect. The Matildas are very much loved and respected, and deservedly so. There was no greater feeling for me when I walked out onto the pitch as a player and captain of the Matildas. They were and continue to be very, very proud moments for me. So the team and the Matildas' success is very close to my heart. It's an extraordinary time for the women's football here in Australia and the upcoming Olympics, and obviously holding the Women's World Cup on home soil. It will be amazing. It really couldn't be any more exciting for players, for the coaching staff and support staff, of course, and all of the Matilda supporters, of which there are many. On that note, I'm sure I can speak on behalf of all the former Matildas and the footballing community and say that I look forward to watching the players grow and thrive under your leadership, and that the team finds the results they've been striving for. Warmest welcome again, Tony, and all the best.